Hello, beautiful souls. How are you doing? We are going to deep dive into a tarot reading for the week ahead. This is a collective message for all of you out there, so stick around. But there is significance for the Cancer zodiac and the Taurus zodiac because they come up in the pre-shuffles. But it's for all of you out there, so hit like, hit subscribe. We are about the first card coming out is the fifth house. The fifth house is coming out with the Queen of Pentacles. So I'm talking to someone in the public eye. I'm talking to someone who's been seen and recognized. I'm talking to someone who is stable and grounded in their king or queen position. I'm talking to someone who is humble about that position. If this was the the king of Pentacles, I would think they were a little bit more pizzazzy and showy and flashy with it, but this isn't that vibration. This is someone who's incredibly humble, somebody who's really in their feminine vibration. Male or female, you have mastered your feminine principle. Yeah, beautiful energy coming out. You are in the public eye, you are seen, you are recognized. There are a lot of people that really look up to you. Okay, the cards coming out next to that is karmic debt and the Four of Cups. Now, there's been a window of time in your career, a window of time in your life where you felt neglected, but I also want to say people felt like you neglected them. So you was really on your own and isolated. You pushed people away. But you pushed people away for the right reason, because you were nourishing yourself. I see the Cancer symbol showing up as well in my vision. So I'm connecting with a Cancer, or the Cancer zodiac is really important to you. Okay, that water element seems really significant in this spread. Okay, you may also benefit from the 7D consciousness channel that I have. I put something out called Destiny Rising, just a little spoken word piece, but all this water visionary is flooding into my mind and it's making me think about that piece of content. Only like a 4-minute video, so feel free to check it out. It's just nice words and just positive mindset, you know. But that's what I'm looking at here. I'm looking at someone who has journeyed deeply into the mind, isolation, seclusion. I'm looking at someone who would really embrace the ideology of being shipwrecked, out on their own, deserted. Yeah, I use the shipwrecked ideology a lot myself, and I'm actually looking at the vision in the card of a ship out at sea in the distance, and someone finally getting ready to get up and call for help. So I'm talking to someone, this is very specific, I'm talking to someone who was shipwrecked in the ideology, alone, isolated. I want to say bastard child as well. I don't know why I want to say that. Yeah, but someone who felt like they don't fit in. So if they're the stepchild, if they're separate to the rest of the family, if they have awful relations with their mother or father, something in the family dynamic just made me say bastard child out of nowhere. It's that feeling of just being abandoned, shunned, neglect. This could be rooted in deep childhood stuff or something in the present moment. But and I want to say on that note as well, the relationships we build in adulthood stem from our childhood relationships. So whether it's a relationship romantically, lovingly, that's stemmed negatively because of our childhood wounds, or if it's that relationship with our mother or father that keeps boomeranging back around in a negative way because of that unstable childhood concrete or construct we evolved off, right? It's something like that. And when I said concrete, I wanted to talk about Piaget. I wanted to talk about Freud. I wanted to talk about Vygotsky. I wanted to talk about a lot of different sociology, psychological constructs. Erik Erikson's ideologies of as we grow, we cement different things in our life. Like we either cement shame or autonomy as we evolve, or trust versus mistrust. Yeah? Erik Erikson suggested we don't get to choose in our adolescence and adulthood whether or not we cement healthy levels of trust and mistrust. It's more likely we cement ideologies of I don't trust people versus no, I am a very trusting soul, versus I am riddled with shame versus I lack autonomy. Yeah, and that determines how you evolve throughout life. You're very autonomous, very independent, very empowered, very capable on your own, versus I'm very shameful. Means I'm lacking self-esteem. I do less, I want to be seen less, I'm less active in the community, I'm less confident in this space. We're always developing these skill sets, right? That Eric Erickson's work is years old, incredibly dated, but what it does bring to the forefront in today's conversation is understanding that balance between our left and our right, our yes and our no, our up and our down, our happy and our sad, our trust and our mistrust. We're allowed both. Yeah, we're allowed to have both constructs. We're allowed to understand that there are moments we feel shameful and there are moments we feel autonomous. And actually, which one of those drive us in the right direction? Which one of those make us feel good? Sometimes we have fear. Yeah? Sometimes we are fearless. We still need both, right? That's about that nervous system, our physiology. We all need these things. So what I'm looking at is somebody who for a long time you got shunned, you got belittled, you got disrespected, you got broken, you got hurt, potentially in 2022 is coming to me. Not only that, in that window of 2024, in between 2022 and 2024, you were wounded, you were out of the game. 333 looking at me as well. And 888, so something that you built 8 years ago, something that occurred 3 years ago, specifically 2022, up until 2024, a window of time where all of this kind of occurred. With that in mind, yeah, you chose to isolate yourself, count yourself out. So you're trapped on an island, shipwrecked in my vision. And with that, there's been bolts going by. All you had to do was start a fire for someone to see that you were there. All you had to do was write SOS in the sand. All you had to do was wave and scream and shout a little bit and you would have been recognized and received and saved. You didn't want that. You didn't want that. Part of you felt like this was your karma. Not only that, part of you didn't understand what getting up and leaving would do for you anyway, right? So I'm looking at a situation where, what if I leave this island? Nowhere to go back to. There's nothing else beyond this anyway, right? Beautiful, because this is divine timing. It shows me that you're a highly intelligent person. A latent learner comes to mind. It's I love the ideology of latent learning, and I really sit with it heavily in my heart because it's kind of how I operate and how I kind of feel things to be. My sacral chakras going as I say that. So there's this kind of acceptance that needs to come from this reading today for whoever's receiving this. Hit the like if you are, because we're talking about acceptance that your learning style's unique and different. We've just done a whole piece on the power of education on hermatology.me, the YouTube channel, so go and check that out as well, because we dive into some really interesting scopes. But here today, your sacral is coming into full acceptance of your learning style, why you do what you do, why you behave the way you do, why you've taken the choices and made the choices and decisions that you have made, and why this is significant in relation to time, divine timing. This is beautiful. This shows real growth. I'm quite an obnoxious, out there, loud, bubbly character, don't really slow down enough. So it's interesting when I do readings like this to receive a different energy. It's nice because your energy is teaching me in the now moment and also showing me what it means to be stoic, what it means to be slow, what it means to be passive, what it means to not do anything. Yeah? One of my pet peeves is do something, speak, say something, be louder, move faster. Like I'm like, go, gadget. I'm overly excited. I'm like into fast, crashing, derbies, demolitions, wild rock star life. Like I'll just go until I burn out and crash and then sleep it off and then wake up and go again, right? I think I'm a rock star in my mind. So it's nice to see such a opposing energy that is just like, whatever, no. I'm not moving. I'm staying still. I'm not doing anything. This is where I'm at. And it is showing me the power that stemmed from that, especially if that's a characteristic that you didn't normally have, yeah? because I'm connecting obviously with more than one person, and whether or not you were in that rock star energy and you've shifted, or you used to be a faster kind of character and that's changed for you, this has been a really amazing window of time in your life is the point. I know it doesn't feel like it because you've been isolated and alone. It's been incredibly different to the lifestyle that you're comfortable with. It's felt like a loss. It's felt like an L, yeah? I spoke all about how taking the L, what it means to take the L on hermatology.me as well. Go and check out all the content over there. So on that note, we'll move on to the Emperor. The Emperor that's turned its back on a life of infidelity, I wanted to say. Emptiness. Empty meaning. A lack of promise. Interesting. When I say a lack of promise, I'm being told sometimes in life, most of the time in life, we can see if something has promise or not, if something is for us or not. But most of the time, we're so rock star, we're so busy, we're so doing the damn thing, we haven't got time to establish, assess, and register, log, decide on what to do with that promise or lack thereof. Because if in the now moment we can turn up and be a rock star and have a good time and live our best lives and get drunk and have sex and party and be intimate, whatever that rock star energy is, when we can do that. But in this energy, following the things I've just spoken on, the next set of cards, which is Lilith, if you know about the Lilith energy, yeah? Then, and it's a special kind of deck with the Emperor facing away entirely from the facing me. The Emperor's whole seat is reversed. He's looking outwards. I can't see his face. I don't know the Emperor. He's just got loads of symbols on the back of his throne, and a fire's blazing, and there's a sphere floating in his hand. But I can't see him. He's hidden. Yeah. So the Emperor is turned away, but he's turned away from Lilith. If you know Lilith energy, there's a lot of karma and Saturn return attached to Lilith. So with that energy, we're looking at someone who's awakening to the truth of love, life, connection, oneness, purpose, destiny. I don't want this lack of promise in my vibration anymore. I don't want to commit to emptiness. Yeah? So many people in life will be in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship. And they will claim that that's love and that's the happiest they've ever been. For there is not enough consciousness to even dissect beyond that mundane connection of let's turn up tonight. We had great sex. He bought me a new handbag. This is way beyond that. I'm done with that shit. And this transcends romantic relationships. This is about that mother and father dynamic for some of you guys. That is about you being a mother or father too. Not only that, the following card after that is the devil with his back turned too. With the 7th house, a lot of houses coming out in this spread today. We've got the 5th house and the 7th house. We've also got the waxing crescent talking about time, accruing time. Karmic debt that was surrounding you, that you chose to sit in whilst you accrue time, yeah? Whilst healing that Lilith bullshit in your reality, that Lilith vibration, whilst turning your back on being the Emperor and dealing with your karmic debt. Now, this shows real growth and maturity as well, because not a lot of people will say, do you know what, I fucked up, that was my karma, I'll take it. I'll bite the bullet, I'll eat that shit, and I'll sit in it, and I'll evolve, and I'll grow, and I'll come out better as a result. And that's what you've chosen. You've chosen to take the L. You've chosen to take the bullet. You've taken this really well. And as a result, I feel like you're going to really start to see change in your life. Because with the 7th of house here, you've let go of at least 5 people that were really, really close to you. That intuitively you knew otherwise. I'm not going to say much until I dive in. I'm going to shuffle. Let's go. Feel free to hit the like. Feel free to send your telepathic thoughts this way. What questions do you have? What more do you want to know? What do you resonate with here? What card stood out and made the most sense to you at this point? Just as we tap in, because I'm about to go in with clarifiers across all of the cards that have just come out. I really want to look at the High Priestess just sitting by itself at the end there. It's got a story of its own to come out, and I really want to understand that 7th house as well. That these 5 people that are looking at me here that are incredibly close to you, affecting your energy on a day-to-day basis, affecting your vibration, affecting your mood. And the fact is, they're coming out with the devil with the back turned. So you turning your back on these people has removed the devil from your lair. Harsh to say, it's hard for me to own some perspectives sometimes like this. It may also be hard for you to accept. But sometimes in our life there are low vibrations and bad energy. And no matter how close they are, no matter how many years you've known them, if they are in your nest, it's going to be bad for you. You can't have bad people around you and expect to feel good. Period. Yeah? So that's what you've got to be able to see. These people in your life, no matter how close they are to you, have not been good for you. That's why the devil has removed itself from the devil can't even look at you now. Yeah? Some of these people can't even look at you now. First card coming out with the 5th house and the Queen of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles. Confirmation. Being out in the cold, struggling, difficulty, upset. It could have been something happening online. Backlash online. Texts, messages, WhatsApp groups, conversations that created I want to say bloodshed, upset, hurt, because it gives me 3 of Swords energy. Not only that, 3 of Pentacles coming out with the karmic debt and the 4 of Cups. Working really, really hard, yeah? That isolation energy that you was in, working really, really hard. The horse coming out with that. Spirit or animal, the horse. When the horse comes out, it really, really talks about being stoic, like I said. Power, right? Stable, stoic, strong, gifted, driven, determined, purposeful, yeah? The horse will gallop on and on and on and go for miles, yeah? And that is what you've been doing here. Biding your time. Horses are very intuitive, very intelligent, very aware, very in the now moment and conscious of all things, yeah? Fascinating as well. The positioning of the horse's eyes really comes to me, and it talks about the ability to see from a very unique perspective. Yeah? And you would sometimes think, well, the horse hasn't got a clear eye, or like a third eye or an eye in the middle of their forehead, so then they can't necessarily see straight on, can they? But what they can see is purposeful and a very incredible radius. So what I can say is your viewpoint during this window of time has been the best viewpoint you've ever had. You've had the best seat in the house, let's say it like that. Present or not present, there or not there, you've had the greatest perspective you've ever had in your life because of this. Ace of Wands, wow. With the Emperor, with his back turned, and the Lilith, out comes the Ace of Wands. This is purposeful. This is powerful. This is brand new. This is where you get your revival back. This is where you get your life back. This is where you get your rebirth. This is where you get your soul renewal. This is where you get your replenishment. This is where you find that eternal elixir, right? That fountain of youth. This is the Indiana Jones moment where we finally find the egg we've been looking for. The golden egg's right fucking there. Finally, right? Out comes the Emperor after that with the fucking hell. How sick is that? Listen to this, right? Bottom of the deck, Empress as well. Hold on. So the devil with his back turned with the 7th house, yeah? Only now reveals the Emperor. Remember, the Emperor turned his back on the Lilith vibration. But now that he's turned his back, moved away from these 5 people and the devil energy attached to them, he shows up as the Emperor. He's back in the game. He pulls up because the toxicity's gone, the dark energy's gone. You were protected. God pulled up to save you, yeah? That shipwreck vibration was there for a purpose. I love Tom Hanks so much. I cannot even put into words. From Splash, from childhood, I love the man. Even Otto, his latest thing that he done on Netflix. Have you seen Otto? It's such an incredible movie. He's such an incredible actor. I love the man, okay? So with that in mind, yeah, without losing my thread, shipwrecked. Tom Hanks. But I want to hone in on the terminal Tom Hanks. You seen the terminal? They try and take the piss out of Tom Hanks, his character in the terminal, the whole fucking time. We can't help you. We can't help you. Basic customer service problems. These dickheads can't help this man, and this man cannot leave the airport. And he's being watched. He's made to feel stupid. He's trapped in a fucking cycle. But he becomes the most entertaining piece of the whole airport. Do you get what I mean? It's like there's so many contexts to dive into when it comes to the terminal, and then the crossover between him in Shipwrecked and the ideology of being shipwrecked on an island versus still being fucking shipwrecked in the fucking airport. It's that kind of story, right? And there's characters in there that are acting like they're actually there to help him, and they're not, right? The staff are all there just analysing every little thing he does, and it's awkward, and actually he does make some connections, but it's just worth pinning the different stories that kind of play out in your life, in other people's life, and how we all evolve as characters, right? All the world is a stage and we are merely players in it. And that's what's being said here, yeah? The truth of the matter is this was a chess game, this was chess moves, and we had to make sure we checkmated all these other pieces before we moved on. And that we had to protect what? The king, yeah? Protect your king, protect your queen in the game, protect the emperor. That's what this has been, and it has been a beautiful journey. I don't even get trauma or pain or anything awful, like, so I can see healings occurred. We've done a couple readings before this, so if you tuned into that, you'll know that there were heavier energies there that we had to heal through, but the healing's done. It's the beautiful coming out as the emperor now, and then out comes the high priestess with the empress. I said, I need to understand why this high priestess is here. And then out comes the empress on top. This is a brand new beginning. And now we've got the emperor and the empress together. I still see this as one energy, yeah? Because I always bring it back to oneness, first and foremost. So that is the yin and yang of you. You are now in your power. I already said, whether you're male or female, you're mastered your feminine principle, yeah? So let me dive in specifically now to the high priestess energy. Okay. The high priestess, the empress, coming out with Jupiter energy. This Jupiter energy represents for me the Ace of Wands. This is a powerful uprising. Whoever I'm connecting with, you are becoming. Yeah, I don't even want to put any more words to it. You are becoming. You are becoming. Yeah, every ounce of you that was ever meant to be you, that was ever meant to be there and seen and presented and given and received, and everything in flux, right? That is you. The bottom of the deck for one of these cards is soul crime. Whatever's happened in your past and whatever you went through, it was a soul crime against you, yeah? Yeah, so someone fulfilled their karmic debt and their karmic contract to destroy you to a certain degree. That was their destined path. Yeah, we all have free will, but this person chose that part of their contract. Yeah, they've got blood on their hands for it. They will forever. They've paid the price for this now. They will continue to pay the price for whatever they've done, and that's what set you free. Yeah, the devil collects his children. Period. Yeah. And that is what should make you feel empowered and positive in life. One thing you can always guarantee is God collects his children and the devil collects his. So you have never got to worry about anything in this world, because as long as you know who your father is, you're safe. Because the devil, what I will never understand about people who are not okay in the mind frame and do bad things, they're tethered to the devil. The devil's going to come for you. And when the devil pulls up for you, he ain't going to love you like God loves you. You're okay to be tethered to the dark. You want darkness in your soul and chakras. But once again, that devil energy is also what? Darkness, a lack of consciousness. These people ain't got light. These people can't see. These people don't know. They live in a paradigm of empty nothingness. Yeah? That's why they prey on us. That's why they prey on the light. But all we do, no matter what, we focus on God. We fear God. We focus on the light. We stay in the highest vibration. Even when we are at our lowest, we know God is there. Why am I okay today? Why am I always going to be okay? Because I know God. And I know God knows me. I make sure God knows me. I speak to God every single day. Me and God are never far. God is me. I am God. We are one. It's that deep sometimes. Yeah? God is the Almighty, the Supreme, my Father. I am nothing but a seed of Him. He is ingrained in my every ounce. Every nuance of me is God, for He created me. So I stay close to that vibration, for that is the only vibration I know is true. Hence why I'm going to be okay today. And I'm going to be okay tomorrow. And I'm going to be okay until my dying breath, until I'm born into a new incarnation. Because God's got me, period, always and forever. So that's what you are really starting to believe in, first and foremost. Confirmation of that's high right now, right? Hit like if you know that's true. But it's the completion, the fact that whoever was the opposing devil vibration is now receiving that. Blood on their hands, they will never get off. And every time they look at their hands, they will indeed see that blood, because they'll know it was them. And what's so beautiful about that is that we move on. Next, we've got the Three of Cups with the deer and the heart chakra. Love is coming in. Love is coming in such a beautiful way, because not only is there the Three of Cups with the deer. This is my card of a deer in headlights when this card comes out of the deck. It talks about an earth element. It talks about being grounded. It talks about joyous celebratory occasions, celebrating. But it comes out with the heart chakra, so it talks about love. Initially, I would say, okay, so there's a loving energy coming in. You're loving on yourself more. There's a loving celebration. But the card coming out next to that confirms that this is a very serious commitment, because now we've got the Three of Pentacles, the Hawk, which is an air element, and then the Scorpio, which is a penguin. Now, this Scorpio card has a penguin on it. This is my own deck, so my own interpretations are very different, right? Same with the Jupiter card. All the cards you've heard me say that are off cuff, they are my own personal decks, okay? So the Scorpio is the penguin. Now, penguins mate for life. If you watch animal documentaries, right, the most beautiful story about the penguin is when the penguin leaves the mother and the baby and goes off, and he's gone for ages, and all the penguin mothers just sit there, thousands of them, all sitting in the Arctic or wherever they are, surrounded by ice caps, and the journey that the masculine has to go on to not only get food but return. And the documentary I watched, the way in which the penguins have to return up slope, a lot of them die. A lot of them die in mission to get back to their family, right? And the penguin has to get all the way over this really difficult obstacle where most drown. And then still, obviously, I'm human, so I'm naive to it, and I'm neuro, so my brain is operating atypically. But the penguin has to then walk through thousands of other penguins that all look the same. So in my mind, we all know we're all different. We can tell each other apart. But in my mind, I'm like, but they're all the same penguins. There's thousands of them. How do you know which one's your wife, right? That's what I'm like when I'm watching the documentary. And it's like that, because eventually this, and everyone's waiting. Have you seen Happy Feet as well? It's an incredible movie of penguin love and awkwardness. But the penguin has to go all the way back to his wife and greet them and then share the food. Like, it's just beautiful. And there's only one mate, yeah? That penguin mates with that one woman. That one feminine penguin that is his other, right? And it's that one step, that kindred soul. So that to come out with the heart chakra and the deer and the hawk is just so beautiful in energy. And it just shows, it shows completion, it shows growth, it shows healing, it shows, it's just a breath of fresh air. Because the hawk card coming out with this as well, where the hawk will just fly around and be prey. With the deer and the Scorpio, so many animals in this reading today, it's just translucent and therapeutic and loving and kind and sincere. And it's with the Three of Pentacles. How gorgeous is that? Not the deer is an earth card, but then the Three of Pentacles is building. It's building hearth and home and love and stability with a watchful eye, with a hawk, eye of a hawk. An eye of a hawk on this love. And in this card, this Scorpio is just stepping out one step at a time, closer to my wife and my kid and my family and my destiny, yeah? Male or female, your other half, yeah? That person that you're meant to be with. I would like to say that this is potentially even business partnership and stuff like that, but I can't deny that, actually. Because of the Three of Pentacles here, and the Two of Pentacles that's coming up next, and the rest of the cards in the spread, it could be a business partner, so not a outright romance. So if you are looking for a man and a man business partnership, for example, is what's coming to my mind. So like a co-founder, someone to support you in business. I see two men coming together. So as much as I wanted to pin this as a beautiful love story for male and female, which was initially the first thought here, a part of me sees this as potentially more than that. So on one note, I see two men coming together in business, but on another note, I see three people coming together in business as well. So a collaboration, maybe three influencers coming together to build something in business. Yeah? But what's so beautiful about something like this, more than anything, the takeaway here, this isn't about money, and this isn't a capitalistic agenda. This is love. This is true love. Yeah? So it is your new husband or wife is literally your now best friend, business partner, associate, soulmate, tribe, whatever you want to call it, because it's kind of like that. So two men who are heterosexual and not remotely gay are getting into business together, and they are in love, period. Yeah? That's what I see, and it's really, really funny and adorable, because you guys are straight as ever, but you might as well be married because you are in love, and it will be that way forever. And that's kind of the best way to be in business, I think, as well, because, I mean, in that way it's going to survive. You actually love each other, and it's not built on capitalism as well, so fucking hell, there's a win, But we do need to find a healthy balance between capitalism, because the way that the world is today, guys, they will suck you fucking dry. You need to make it work financially in major, major ways. Okay. The reason I say that as well is because the cards following that is the Two of Pentacles and the Fool card with the 5D. Now, the 5D card for me is just a lot of problems, a lot of stress, a lot of boundaries, a lot of breaking free. But what's gorgeous is, yeah, and especially after what you've been through in your lives, is the 5D energy here is here. You're ready. You're willing. Oh, this is weird, because in my mind I'm getting like popping your cherry, losing your virginity. I feel like this is not sexualized in any way whatsoever. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it is, but someone's losing their virginity in a new way. Like in a like, what, you're popping your cherry. This is your first time. It's a really big deal to me to say that as well. Like, I get a little bit nervous in my heart chakra when I say that, and my sacral goes a little bit, and maybe I get a little bit emotional and overwhelmed, and I start to well up in the eyes, because it is a first time for someone, and it is a really, really big deal. And what's so beautiful about it as well is this person, you or them, both of you, the energy's merged into two now. I can't separate it, okay? But it's both of you are willing to take a risk, to go to the depths of hell. You'll never go there because you're fucking smart enough. You've just come from there. We've just had that conversation about God. You know you're not going there. But that's what's sexy. Is because you're so equipped now and so prepared for this journey that you can go to the fucking depths of hell and you would never reach there. No chance. God will pull you up way before you even came close to the depths. Yeah? And that's the point. You're balanced. You and this person are incredibly balanced, incredibly stable, maybe quite foolish and silly and goofy, which makes it 100 times easier. And you know how to make a laugh and a joke at the darkest times in life. And you've both been through your darkest hours. Maybe you were there for each other during the darkest hours, so now you understand the light together. in union, right? Really positive. Not only that, what makes this even more sexy, I hear you ask? The Lovers card, the the Eight of Wands, and the Virgo card. Now, this is also my deck as well. So this Virgo card, it has an elephant on it. It represents Ganesh to me, and it's an elephant just standing in the middle of a really dry land, to be honest. But the stars are out and it's shining bright, and it talks about being really, really resourceful. Yeah, Virgos are absolute perfectionists. I am a Virgo, may I add. Perfectionist. Really, really about the analytics of the situation. But it's the earth sign element as well, so there's a lot of tangibility that needs to come through. And there's this, what's the word? Duty, a lot of duty, a lot of practicality, a lot of hard work, a lot of bounty through hard fought struggle and difficulty. It doesn't come easy to a Virgo. Virgos are perfectionists, and it doesn't come easy to them, and they are naturally abundant with the Ganesh energy, but boy does it take a hell of a lot of hard work and dedication. And sometimes they're fighting through some of the most difficult terrain, the most difficult situations, and everyone seems to think it's so easy for a Virgo because a Virgo can make it look so easy, but it's not at all. And that's what creates these soul crime energies and these people that done you wrong in the past, because they perceived what you had was easy to accrue. Because you make it look easy, and that's the whole crux of the situation, regardless of what sign you are today, because we said Sagittarius and Taurus were significant in this reading. We've also got Scorpio out and Virgo out as well. So regardless of your sign here, we're really, really talking about you making things look easy. You making things look simple. And not only that, there's so much more to come towards you because you've broken free of that paradigm. And I think you falling down and you having this isolation moment and then you feeling weak and maybe going through an ego death at the same time because publicly something happened here that was burdensome. It's pushed you into a powerful position where you really start to prove why you are who you are and how you boomerang back and be you and survive and sustain, and how it's not easy. You prove all the work you've done that wasn't seen in the light. And that is the most powerful thing, and that screams entrepreneurship to me as well too, because a lot of people always make assumptions, oh, that happened overnight, or they must have got a big deal, or that happened, that was easy for them, or whatever, they're rich, who cares? But you never really see the work that's done behind the scenes. That's why everyone mirrors and mimics and pulls up and tries to do the same thing you've been fucking doing, because they seen you pull it off and they thought, damn, I can do that too. Didn't know you spent the last fucking decade doing it in the back end, did they? But they'll learn, because they will never be able to achieve that, because they haven't done what you've done. But it's all nice and fun and good and well when everyone screams, fake it till you make it. And I say, if you fake it until you make it, when you make it, you're going to be fake. And it will be seen and known. And you only go so far. I always talk about that viral moment. You got viral off of that one clip. Now you're a bitch to that virality, because you're going to have to keep acting like that version of self when that was actually a fluke. You didn't mean to do that. That's normally how it works. So you become a punk bitch to the environment, to the algorithm, to the system, to the narrative that you don't desire to define you. But now you're defined by something outwardly that limits your potential to be more, because now that's tethered to money. That's also devil card energy as well. You're tethered to something that isn't you. Every day you hate it, you can't bear it, can't stand it. It's not part of your destiny. It's not part of your soul contract. But the mission here is for you to rise above and remain true to your morals and integrity and align to what's right for you. But that's not going to bring you a paycheck. So what do? Keep chasing the paycheck? Or trust in God? You know? It's the way that the world works. Only the enlightened go through this shit. That's why the enlightened struggle so fucking much, right? So with that, because I'm really nosy and because it's just staring at me, I'm going to dive in a little bit to the Lovers and the Eight of Wands, because something's here and I want to stay, because I'm intrigued. So with that, the World card, the Six of Swords, the Strength card, and the Nine of Swords in the right direction. Yeah, this is the special deck, so wow. You are healing. Capricorn energy coming out, Pluto energy coming out, brand new clear air energy coming out as well. And we are finishing this. Just, oh yes. Magnifique. Magnifique. Okay, listen up to this, right? Soul Crime has come off of the deck into the running. We have it with the Lovers and the Eight of Wands. There's a conversation that's going to be had about whatever's gone on here, about your destiny, about your purpose. There's going to be confirmation in the real world aligned with that Ace of Wands new beginning that we already saw. Following that, the World card's coming out with Still Waters and the Two of Swords. You're going to go in a new direction. You're going to have free will to make a new decision, and it's coming off the back of a very important conversation that affirms to you that confirms to you that you've made the right choice and you're going in the right direction. With that, the King of Cups is coming out with a Capricorn energy, another stable energy, two crows kissing each other. Oh, crow energy as well. So we're talking about two struggling energies, entities, vibrations, two aspects of the self, but in this case, you and another person, professional or not, having a very interesting conversation that opens up this stillness. Still waters run deep, right? And then now you're moving towards a passage of a surety. Strength card coming out with the High Priestess again and the Pluto energy. In this deck, Pluto talks to me about rapid transformation, transition, change, dynamics, fluid dynamics a little bit I want to talk about as well here, weirdly enough here. We're talking about shifting paradigms and changing the game, making things happen, magic, alchemy, sorcery, strength, power, purpose, conviction, drive, determination, oneness, unity, all things in flux, yeah? That's you just, you're coming out of the gate, yeah? And what's beautiful is, you're coming out of the gate really still, silent, calm, peaceful, aligned, practically not moving. Whatever you've learned during that shipwrecked era stabled you, grounded you. You haven't got to do much. And that's what's making this gorgeous, is because the transformation, the rapid rate of change in this is humongous. But you wouldn't notice it because you're stoic and you're still and you're aligned and you're one and you're where you're meant to be in your life, so there is no need for anything else. Nothing drastic, nothing overwhelming, no burdens, no bullshit. It's just oneness, chill. And at the end of the day, what's nice, bottom of the deck here, is the Nine of Pentacles. Throughout all of this and whatever happens in relation to this person and this connection that's evolving, you have your independence. Yeah? And that can never be taken from you. You can never be infringed on, overwhelmed, burdened by a connection or other. And you'll never have to go through that again. And what's coming out with the Nine of Swords in this kind of this deck is the Nine of Swords are something you can see. They've made you who you are. They're put on the wall in the light of day as a beautiful construction of art. It's an art piece, yeah? It's modern art decor now because it's a memory of your life. It's something you've constructed. You've taken all those 9 swords and built a mosaic, and it's stunning. It's gorgeous. And with that, the card that actually come out says air clean. And the 9 of Swords is an air card, so we're looking at clean air. Finally, you can breathe again. And with that final card, unicorn. Unicorns represent billionaire vibration to me, right? Represent billions, yeah? So as much as I go straight to the market cap of the conversation, I also go to mystical. I want to say methodology. I want to say billion-dollar strategy. I want to talk about uncontested markets. I want to talk about blue ocean strategy. I want to nerd out on market cap and TVL a little bit. But I only want to do that to ground that into ethereal conversations about billions. Billions of this and billions of that and stars and matter and fractals and reality and light source, right? And the different ideologies of the speed of sound and the speed of light and the fluid dynamics and polymerization and contour and polarization. Like, I want to nerd out and identify the fractals that exist in all things. What is how many billions, quadrillions of things are happening in just the 1 second that I'm speaking to you now? The word that comes out of my mouth, the hand movement that you can't even see, the facial expression and gesture in my eyebrows and forehead and lips that you can't see, let alone the computer system that this is all running on, let alone the rest of my body that I didn't identify, let alone my feet touching the ground and the impact that has on the ground in this environment. Yeah, the butterfly effect. It's that energy. Yeah? So there's so much more layers. So not only does it talk about your physical abundance and material wealth, it talks about your life becoming synergized in light because of this. Because you crack the code, you crack the case, you step out of the paradigm of lack, less than, limit, and you become boundless. Yeah? There's a boundless essence that is spreading out and transcending across your whole life. And you can choose to believe or not believe. And that is the difference between those that are successful and not in this world, those that follow the light of the Lord versus the other, right? So just know that you are in the light and you are boundless and you are purposeful and you will have everything you want in this lifetime because you know it and you believe it and you see it. And you're in a powerful position now to never doubt that construct that you have built up inside yourself. No one else can give you that vision and that mind's eye and that thought and that feeling. You have to know it within yourself. No matter what a tarot reader says, no matter what another person says, no matter who's richer than you and has an opinion, it doesn't matter. No one matters until you matter. And until you understand the matter in context to yourself and other, with the right degrees of freedom at that. That's a weird thing for me to say. I don't know who will understand that. But you have to, like, sometimes I feel negative when I say stuff like, come back to you, fuck everyone else. And I get all like that. But that's because I know everyone else is still a part of me. So I have enough respect to go, hold on a minute, let me ground me in this so I can be more for them. So I can be more for everyone. So I can align. Yeah? It's not a negative connotation or a negative thing sometimes to just be when you are all seeing, all knowing. And not in a negative context of I'm ego or I'm above or I'm this or I'm that. We're one. Yeah? How do we all get here? Yeah? And unfortunately that's a really annoying thing to say in a world full of racism and terrorism and hatred and males and females and this and that. But the truth of the matter is we're all breathing, living organisms on this planet. And we're all connected whether we believe it or not. And if we can utilize that in healthy ways to become more holistic and whole and supportive and loving of each other, then the world will be more of a beautiful place. Believe it or not, we can do good things. You know? So yeah, I hope that found you well, and I hope you see the point I'm trying to make through the layers of discrepancy that crop up in my mind as I have a conversation like that, because I know the world isn't always as beautiful as it appears to be, you know? And not everyone can be brought into the fold of just love and light and effervescence and positivity, because sometimes it requires a heavier hand or a heavier conversation. But today we kind of ground that old energy, I guess, that leftist perspective that I used to always carry before life got really dark and shitty. And it's kind of like, no, we're allowed to be kind of airy-fairy and skip around and pick daisies like we used to and hug trees and kiss the mud, because we are safe, you know, and we are love. And it starts with us. So if we can continue to exude it, even in the most difficult of circumstances, then pretty sure we win in the end, you know? Love and light. I'll be back soon with more.